A better approach would be to avoid imposing any metaphysical beliefs on our subject. Certainly this approach could come closer to claiming the label of neutrality. A true neutral approach should examine hypotheses rather than dismissing them without consideration. And can anybody actually put aside all metaphysical belief? It would be our contention that no, probably not. And so at least be vocal about them, don't put them down, and don't let the other side force you to put yours down while they hold on to theirs. And
let's put them on the table and examine them. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And so I think Keener, at least in my reading of this chapter, he tends to be less presuppositional than we are or would like, and we'll probably get into a little bit of that as well. But I think that would be a fair take to have from both sides.
And so he says that this may be an appropriate place to approach another historiographic issue raised by postmodern skepticism. He says this approach correctly recognizes, that is postmodern skepticism, correctly recognizes that history is always written from perspectives, right, as our sources for writing it. And so its critique of pretentious claims of pure scientific historiography is well taken, right? So history is written from a perspective. Some people argue that the winners get to write the history kind of thing. And so this is a postmodern claim. Everybody's viewing it from their particular perspective. And he says the problem comes in when the critique is pushed out too far, inconsistently failing to recognize its own limit. And so over and over again, we need to ask when these claims are made is, let's apply the claim to itself and see where it gets us, right? You see suggesting a little bit of that here. And we'll speak more of that as we come. He says that he's going to elaborate more fully in chapter 13 on this particular issues. That is, limitations in our knowledge need not compel us, he tells us, to relinquish claims to knowledge altogether. So the idea here is that folks write history from their perspective. And so it seems like then we have a limitation on knowledge. But he says just because we have this limitation on knowledge written from a certain perspective doesn't mean that we can't have any knowledge. That's what he's getting at here.
Okay. Yeah, just always assume that you're wrong and future you or versions of you will be more accurate. So don't do anything today and just know that you're wrong, and then you'll be more right.
Don't do anything drastic.
Exactly. Don't step on the butterfly.